What if I told you that the sound of the 1980s didn't actually begin in the 1980s? Most people think the decade's identity arrived with MTV in 1981, bringing neon colors, synthesizers, and the end of classic rock. But the truth is more complicated. In 1980, the music industry was caught between two worlds. The giants of the 70s were being dismissed as relics, while a polished new sound was preparing to take over. Yet the bridge between those eras had already been built. The biggest song of the year didn't just survive that transition. It quietly created the blueprint for the rock anthems that followed, even though the band behind it considered it little more than an experiment. Today, we're counting down 10 tracks that captured a pivotal year when the warmth of the 70s collided with the future of the 80s. Number 10, Brass in Pocket by The Pretenders.
I'm special, so special.
There is a strange truth about the songs that make artists famous. Sometimes, they are the songs the artists never wanted to release.
Got brass in pocket.
In 1980, Chrissie Hynde resisted putting Brass in Pocket out as a single. While recording the Pretenders' debut album at Air Studios in London, she felt the song was too soft and feared it would weaken the band's tough image. Ironically, the quality she disliked became its greatest strength. During one vocal take, Hynde accidentally stumbled into a distinctive, stuttering delivery.
Make you notice.
Instead of fixing it, the producer kept it in the final mix, giving the performance a natural human feel. The gamble paid off, reaching number 14 on the Billboard Hot 100. The song introduced a lean, stripped-down production that rejected the excess of late 70s progressive rock.
Nobody else here, nobody like me.
Rather than long guitar solos and elaborate arrangements, it relied on tight songwriting, sharp musicianship, and new wave attitude. Brass in Pocket proved that vulnerability could be just as powerful as swagger, helping usher mainstream rock into a new decade. Sometimes the song you doubt the most becomes the one that defines your career. Number 9, Upside Down by Diana Ross. We often draw clear lines between musical genres, but the songs that change history usually erase those boundaries. Looking for a new direction in 1980, Diana Ross teamed up with Nile Rodgers and Bernard Edwards of Chick. Together, they created a dance track driven by sharp guitar lines and rock-influenced production that left many R&B radio stations unsure how to classify it. Ross, however, disliked the original mix. She secretly hired another producer to remix the master tapes without Rodgers and Edwards' approval, triggering a bitter behind-the-scenes dispute over the song's creative direction. The controversy didn't stop its success. Upside Down reached number 1 on the Billboard Hot 1 and became one of the defining records of the new decade. Its crisp, rhythmic guitar tone influenced countless rock and pop recordings throughout the 80s, proving that groove and precision could be just as powerful as traditional rock instrumentation. Sometimes, creative conflict doesn't weaken a record. It gives it the edge that changes an entire era. Number 8, Refugee by Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. As synthesizers and drum machines began taking over in 1980, Tom Petty refused to abandon traditional rock. Recording sessions for the Heartbreakers' third album became increasingly tense as Petty and producer Jimmy Iovine constantly pushed each other toward perfection. The breakthrough came through frustration. Petty recorded more than 20 vocal takes, growing angrier with each attempt until he finally captured the raw, defiant performance he had been searching for. The exhaustion in his voice wasn't acting. It was real. Benmont Tench's powerful organ hook anchored the song in classic rock at a time when polished electronic production was becoming the norm. Reaching number 15 on the Billboard Hot 100, Refugee became a statement that guitars, emotion, and honest performances still had a place in a rapidly changing industry. Rather than chasing new technology, Tom Petty proved that conviction could be just as powerful as innovation. Some songs aren't simply written, they're earned through persistence. Number 7. Funky Town by Lips Inc.
I want to take me to Funky Town.
While many musicians were fighting to preserve traditional rock, others were embracing a completely different future. By 1980, disco seemed finished after the disco sucks backlash, and many believed guitar music had won. Then Lips Inc. changed everything. Recorded in Minneapolis, far from the industry's biggest music centers, Funky Town relied heavily on the Oberheim OBX, becoming the first chart-topping hit built around the commercially available synthesizer. Instead of a traditional band, the track was driven by electronic programming and a simple, irresistible vocal performance. The gamble paid off. Funky Town reached number 1 in 28 countries, proving that technology could create a global hit without relying on conventional rock instrumentation. Its success helped push electronic production into the mainstream and signaled that the future of popular music would be shaped as much by synthesizers as by guitars. Sometimes an entire musical movement isn't replaced by force. It simply gives way to a sound the world can't stop dancing to. Number 6. Start Me Up by the Rolling Stones. Surviving a new decade often means reinventing yourself. For the Rolling Stones, that reinvention came from an old idea they had almost abandoned. During sessions in 1980, the band struggled to find a hit. What most people don't realize is that Start Me Up had originally been recorded as a reggae song back in 1978. The experiment failed, and the tapes were shelved. While working on another session, Keith Richards casually began playing the forgotten riff. With the tape still rolling, the band sped it up, transformed it into a straight rock track, and suddenly discovered the song they had been searching for. The single climbed to number 2 on the Billboard Hot 100, became one of the defining rock anthems of the early 80s. Its clean, unprocessed guitar sound marked one of the last major hits before heavily produced drums and digital production began dominating rock music. Start Me Up proved that sometimes the key to moving forward isn't chasing the future, it's rediscovering an idea that was simply ahead of its time. Number 5, Bette Davis Eyes by Kim Carnes. Some songs don't fail because they're bad. They simply arrive before their time.
Her hair is hollow gold.
Originally released in 1974 as a light jazz-inspired tune, Bette Davis Eyes attracted little attention. It wasn't until Kim Carnes recorded it 7 years later that the song found its true identity. The arrangement was completely transformed. The warm jazz sound gave way to cold synthesizers and a darker atmosphere that perfectly matched the changing musical landscape.
She'll lay you on the throne.
Producer Val Garay also encouraged Carnes to embrace the natural rasp in her voice, creating the distinctive vocal style that became the song's signature.
Bette Davis Eyes.
The gamble was a historic success. Bette Davis' Eyes spent 9 non-consecutive weeks at #1 on the Billboard Hot 100, becoming one of the defining hits of the early 80s. More importantly, it proved that the right production, the right atmosphere, and the right voice could completely reinvent a forgotten song.
Tease you.
Sometimes a great song doesn't need to be rewritten. It simply needs the right artist to bring it to life. Number 4, Celebration by Kool and the Gang.
We gon' celebrate your party with you. Come on.
Writing a song that sounds genuinely joyful is far more difficult than it seems. Kool and the Gang wanted to capture the optimism of a new decade. But they knew complexity wouldn't create a universal anthem. Known for their sophisticated funk and jazz arrangements, the band deliberately stripped their music down to its essentials. They focused on a simple melody and an unforgettable chorus that anyone could sing after hearing it once. The result was Celebration, a #1 hit that became one of the most recognizable songs in popular music. For more than 4 decades, it has been played at weddings, championship celebrations, graduations, and major public events around the world.
Everyone around the world, come on!
More than just a hit record, the song marked a shift toward music designed to bring people together through shared experiences rather than musical complexity.
We're gonna have a good time tonight. Let's celebrate.
It proved that sometimes the hardest thing for great musicians to do is make something sound effortless. Number 3, Call Me by Blondie. True musical breakthroughs rarely happen without discomfort. In 1980, Blondie joined forces with electronic pioneer Giorgio Moroder, creating a partnership that pushed the band far beyond its comfort zone. Moroder insisted on a rigid, machine-like tempo that forced the band to play with mechanical precision. At first, they hated the approach, feeling it stripped away the spontaneity that defined their sound. The song was commissioned for the film American Gigolo, leaving Debbie Harry only a few hours to write lyrics that matched the story. Despite the pressure, the collaboration produced the biggest hit of 1980. Call Me perfectly blended New York rock attitude with European electronic production, proving that guitars and synthesizers could work together instead of competing with one another. It became a blueprint for the sound that would dominate the decade. Innovation rarely feels comfortable in the moment. Only later do we realize we were listening to the future. Number 2, Another One Bites the Dust by Queen. Some of the biggest hits in history almost never become singles. That was exactly the case with Another One Bites the Dust. When bassist John Deacon introduced the song, its tight, funk-inspired groove felt completely different from Queen's signature style of soaring vocals and heavy guitar riffs. The band treated it as an experiment rather than a potential hit. Everything changed after a concert when Michael Jackson heard the track and urged Queen to release it as a single. The band followed his advice, and the decision transformed the song into a worldwide phenomenon. Selling more than 7 million copies, Another One Bites the Dust became Queen's biggest commercial success in the United States. It proved that a rock band could embrace dance rhythms without sacrificing its identity, opening the door for countless artists to blend rock, funk, and pop throughout the decade. The greatest opportunities are often the ones artists almost leave behind. Number 1, Just Like, Starting Over by John Lennon's.
It's been too long since we took the time, no one's to blame.
Some songs become chart toppers, others become part of history. After stepping away from music for 5 years to focus on his family, John Lennon returned to the studio in 1980, determined to begin a new chapter.
We have grown.
Recording at the Hit Factory in New York, he wasn't trying to follow the synthesizer-driven trends of the new decade. Instead, he looked back to the optimism and simplicity of the rock and roll that first inspired him. The production of Just Like Starting Over reflected that vision, blending the warmth of 1950s doo-wop with the clarity of modern recording. The song was meant to celebrate a fresh start in both his life and career.
We have grown.
Tragically, it became something very different. Released as the lead single from Double Fantasy, the song reached audiences only weeks before Lennon's death, forever transforming it into the closing chapter of one of music's most influential careers. More than a hit record, it became a symbol of a changing era, standing between the spirit of classic rock and the emerging sound of the 80s. Just Like Starting Over reminds us that we rarely recognize the end of an era until it's already behind us. The transition from the 70s to the 80s wasn't simply about new technology or changing fashion. It marked a complete shift in the sound of popular music. Analog warmth gradually gave way to polished production, drum machines, and a faster, more precise approach that would define the new decade. Yet 1980 remains a unique moment, when those two worlds briefly coexisted. It was the final chapter of classic rock's dominance and the first glimpse of the modern sound that would soon reshape the industry. Some songs are remembered because they top the charts. Others become timeless because they captured history in motion. These 10 tracks did both, preserving the exact moment one musical era ended and another began.